you know, like what you are speaking about, you're
Mm-hmm.
speaking about what I partially agree,
Mm-hmm.
is that we live in a sick, narcissistic society
Mm-hmm.
where people presume that everyone is going to move away for them, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like not only in the sense of being in the street and moving away, but like making space in everything, you know,
Yeah.
like then we are speaking, then you are basically starting from the point of thinking that I feel that I'm more important than everyone else, and everyone else should just move when I appear, no matter where that is. You understand? Is it on the street, or is it on TV, or is it in some social media, or wherever? You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I won't go so far as to say as I don't, I don't know if we talked about this before now. I don't this society thing.
I don't do that.
I don't do that. I'm talking about individuals. You know what I mean? Like I don't society. I don't acknowledge it. Like I don't believe in it. Society doesn't exist. People, you know what I mean? I don't. No.
Okay, so you basically want to say that society became obsolete today,
What I mean,
or
if
was always?
I mean, I think just like I think you can get if you want to say that you can get people to have a common behavior, like in if you can if individuals have common behavior, if that's what you want to refer to as society, okay. But I don't think society is an entity of itself. You know what I mean? Like when you
Yeah,
say,
no, no.
yeah, I
It's
mean,
it's built from individuals, but I'm also not referring that individuals should have, because we are all aware that this is not really working, that
mhm,
they should have some strict rules upon which they should act. You know, it's not about like making the rules how you move on the street or
mhm,
how much space you take,
mhm,
or it's really, I think, working on the self-consciousness
mhm,
and self-awareness,
mhm.
and like not only of the self but also of the others, but I really believe it's first of the self.
Yeah, I mean, but what I'm saying is, yeah, the self is the key factor in this because this is why we have pavements and sidewalks and roads are designated separate things. This is why we have traffic lights because if you leave people to their own devices, they are going to just act in an individual way depending on the circumstance. Like, you know, of course, not everyone is a courteous person that's going to say no, you go. You know what I mean? Or I'll step to the side so that you guys can pass. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and or maybe a person may naturally be the kind of person to be courteous in most circumstances, but when they're in the rush to get somewhere, then you know what I
this is
mean?
me.
Yeah. So are you
Then I
being are
forget
you
everything. I'm like,
yeah. So
wow.
are you a jerk at this moment? Are you being a jerk or are you just
No, but I'm being probably unconscious of the world around me.
mhm. Okay, if you say so, if you say so. I think more like um we're looking at the coin from different sides, you know what I mean? Like I think it's rooted in one thing, you think it's rooted in another, but we both see what's taking place, you know what I mean?
Yes. What's wrong in phenomenon?
Yeah, so
Okay, and then this is like one part of the story. And then the second part of the story was that I was like completely shocked that all of a sudden what I remember that it was like the festival of the culture,
mhm.
like from a few years ago, all of a sudden I felt, oh my God, this is like the festival of alcohol.
Mm,
So this is like the second thing that got me. Like the first one is this like not being really conscious of the self, and
mhm,
then the second thing is like this indulgence in something that changes your um, like body mind setting, or how
Mm-hmm.
can I call it, like
Mm-hmm.
so it was just interesting to observe in this, like I don't know how long is this path. It's maybe like I don't know, 1 kilometer or whatever, or 2 kilometers, to observe this mass of these people with this combination of not being conscious with the self and then being under the substance, and it was like some kind of crazy wave, and I was inside, just came from this like completely nature surrounded, and I was like, and I was really trying to be cool.
Okay.
No, really, I was really trying not to judge. I was like really giving my best. Okay, this is the situation that you are in. You just have to walk this way, and you're going through the crowd with the bike. Everything is going to be okay. And on the way, you have to also do some things. And da, da, da. And I was like, don't judge, don't judge, don't judge. But it was really, really hard,
Mm-hmm.
because I think what made me like in few moments, like what made my consciousness judging,
Mm-hmm.
is that it was so much alcohol, and I got scared from it. It
Mm-hmm.
was, everything was stinking. There were bottles all over.
Mm-hmm.
There was music, and it was not even a nice dancing. It was really like, like. And then I thought, okay, I understand like what festival is supposed to mean, and I understand like historically what it means. Like when you speak about like Dionysus and the festivals of wine and so on, and like ecstatic dance and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I got really like, for a moment, I got really like scared.
Okay. What
So
were you afraid of?
I don't know, like I was afraid of this level of like delusion. I don't know, like I think that this delusion was the yeah. I didn't really feel that I'm surrounded by people who are kind of awake and conscious.
Mm-hmm.
And then I and
But
then
what was the fear? Fear of
of delusion, that I'm just gonna drown in this world of like
what you mean drown in this world? How you drowning? What you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt too awake, like comparing to my surrounding. I was like, okay, I know how I move, where my body moves, even with the bike, and what is my direction, and how far is the another body, and da da da.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just felt it like from everywhere else. I just
Okay.
felt like unconsciousness and alcohol, and I was like, okay, I'm drowning a bit.
But
And I was trying not to judge.
okay, so maybe you're speaking on some metaphysical level of because
Yes.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this is every club I've ever gone to in my life. What do we? I never drowned. You know what I mean? Like,
So how do you walk?
well, no, but I mean, obviously, for me, I avoid those kinds of situations. I actually don't like being in certain spaces. It's one thing. If I go to a club, I mean, I've worked in clubs since I was like 22 years old, right? Two, 2 or 3 thousand people coming through and we had a Thursday night, and it was, you can't even use this terminology anymore. You have to say an open bar, like,
Open bar, not
but
the
we referred to it back then. I didn't come up with the name, but it was referred to as all you can drink. $10, all you can drink, right? So we this place would get slammed from the moment there was a line going down the street before we even opened, and it would stay full of drunk people drinking as much as they can for the whole night long.
Wait, someone is ringing.
Okay.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. right? All good? Everything
Yeah.
good? So no, I was so my point being that like we had all these people who were highly intoxicated all night long.
Yeah.
But it was okay because we had general control over the crowd.
Yeah, and it's like a closed space, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But this out in the street kind of business, like where it's just like thousands of people just going crazy or whatever, like this is not my kind of scene at all. Like I'm generally not into that kind of stuff.
I know, but I was also, like I was also thinking about that there is that there is type of people, and also a lot among my friends, that they would just say, I'm gonna avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I'm
Yeah.
gonna avoid going to clubs. I'm gonna avoid going to, I don't know, walking down the streets when it's really dark, or I'm gonna avoid that places because I should avoid U8 because it's full of crack
Mm-hmm.
junkies, or like.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, like I'm not the person who would just go through life avoiding stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
I'm type of the person who would know, okay, there are some things on my life path that they're like obstacles, or like some stones that you cannot move or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I would dance the cosmic dance according to them. But
Mm-hmm.
I cannot imagine like all my life avoiding certain places, certain countries, certain subjects, certain people, certain maybe that's a successful screenplay to just avoid, but I don't believe that this is something that's gonna help anyone. Like now I'm in situation, I'm sorry, that after yesterday I feel okay, I'm just gonna avoid everyone and move somewhere far away where no one can reach me.
Mm-hmm.
you know
Well, I don't think that that's what it is. I think it's like if it's something if there's something that you want or somewhere that you want to go, then you deal with it. But I mean, for me, there's nothing at this parade that's interesting enough for me to put myself in that situation. That so
yeah,
it's not like I want to be there and I'm afraid to go because there's going to be drunk people. That's not what I'm saying. Like
yeah.
I'm saying that like if there's nothing there for me, why am if it's not that cool to me, like why am I going to put myself in that position? Like I can find other fun things to do, like, you know?
No, I understand. I was on my way home, so it's not my choice to to be in
Yeah, 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 yeah.
it was like the, let's say, obstacle on the way, yeah.
Right, 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 right.
And then you're just dealing with something that there was there, yeah.
Mhm.
So it's yeah, I don't know, like we had this talk about avoiding, and I was thinking about that a lot since last time we talked.
Mhm.
And I actually don't know how to incorporate that in my daily life. How do I just avoid something, or I'm maybe not this type of person,
Well,
or
I mean, you don't have to be that type of person. I mean, the thing is for you there's like a balance. Like you have your own level of balance. It appears to me like you there's this safety versus freedom, right?
yeah.
And for you, freedom is much more important than safety, right? Like you just like I want to feel free to go wherever I want to go, whenever I want to go, and that's the bottom line. For
Yeah.
me, I mean, I go where I want to go, and if it's not safe, I may not want to go. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I mean. Like it's like yeah, that's I mean that's just like the bottom line. If it there's this whole thing like when I was growing up. And I mean, this kind of thing goes on. It's just like, I might have friends where we were like, shit, if we going over there, somebody's got to have a gun, right?
Yeah.
And then so I think to myself, do I really want to be somewhere where I need a gun to be there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. It's like, if you don't feel comfortable, like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like, it just depends on what it is that you want to achieve. If there's somewhere that I really want to go, then I'll go.
Yeah, but it's I'm speaking now.